Hello and welcome to Two Guys and a Few Good Men. I am TJ Washuk.
And I'm Garrett Loberg.
And this is Movie Lowdown for the week of August 13th, 2018.
So let's get right into the news.
Alright, first up, there is a deal going on right now that may or may not happen. It's still in the works, but Amazon is trying to acquire Landmark Movie Theaters. It is a movie chain owned by Mark Cuban, you know, the billionaire that's on Shark Tank, and many other things.
Yeah, and this is something that's it's not new that companies that have movies or putting out movies have gone through with this or tried to go through with it. Netflix just tried to do it recently, but what the problem was that they were going to be discredited from dropping into awards. So say, you want to get to the Cannes Festival or any of the awards, they're not going to be able to do that with Netflix. Well, they're saying now that with them owning these theaters that it could actually work out for them getting into the Cannes Festival or any of these movie festivals.
Exactly. So right now they're talking with a bank right now to see how the deal is going to work out. Still don't know if it's going to go through. Netflix, on the other hand, has promised to spend about $8 billion this year on original and licensed content for its subscribers.
A lot of money on it.
Amazon is really shifting its gears full throttle into this streaming movie consumerism, if you will. By owning a theatrical outlet, that would make it more attractive, like Garrett said, for filmmakers to see their movies play on the big screen and make them eligible for awards at these festivals, or even getting an Emmy.
Could you see them? So like, since this is only going to be in those theaters that they play them, do you see like these movies going into Harkins or AMC? Do you think they'll ever?
Ooh.
Do you think they'll ever crossbreed?
That is a
so they
question.
could probably take money from the revenue, because like you talk about studios, you talk about movie theaters right now. The actual licensing company is going to get almost 80% of that revenue to 70%, if not like them pushing for more, and the theaters are only going to walk around with like 10% to 15%. So like you could see Amazon kind of do that to more smaller companies like AMC or Harkins.
I could see them definitely licensing them out, these movies, because Landmark, we're based in Arizona, and there isn't a Landmark around. I'd never heard of this company until I recently saw this on the news. So in order for that company to get their movie out there, they're definitely gonna have to go to AMC, to Harkins, like you said, to Regal. But I feel you're gonna get a discount with your Prime subscription at these theaters.
Yeah, and the tickets probably, with the ticket prices, it's nice here in Arizona. We don't get, in the Bay, it's about $15 a movie ticket.
Yeah.
And in New York, it's about $15 a movie ticket, which we talked about last week with movie
Pass.
Movie Pass and how it's been screwing up. But this would be awesome to see, like, hey, I have an Amazon account. Do I get, 10% off on my ticket? Yeah, boom, right there.
Moving on from that, there was a thing going around YouTube. There was a jump scare of this new movie called The Nun.
I actually was affected by this personally.
You were?
Funny story. I'm sitting there I couldn't get sleep the other night, and so I threw on. I like watching CinemaSins. CinemaSins is one of my favorite things to watch when I can't sleep. The ding almost just knocks me out because it's so many dings that you're just like, it starts getting redundant. It's not boring, it's not bad. But I'm sitting there watching it, and in the middle of I was watching on my phone, and I get more ads on my phone than I do on my actual PS4 or computer. And all of a sudden it got quiet, and I remember thinking like, oh, what? And then all of a sudden it was like, Roo! And I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And that was it. And it was just like, I wasn't even watching it, and I can imagine how scary it was.
Yeah, apparently made it look like your volume was changed or something like that.
It would, I think it was doing the if you have a Mac, it has like a click, 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 click sound when you turn up your volume. And I think that's what it originally was, like your volume was being turned down. And
Yes.
as soon as you looked at your phone, it jump scares at you. And it was pretty, I thought it was funny because it did scare me for like 1 second. But at the same time, I thought it was absolutely like, whoa. Who's letting ads go?
It makes you think that YouTube is just not controlling what is on their platform for their ads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did that get passed?
Well, YouTube in general has always been bad about it. I mean, I gotta Get Shorty. What's the show that's on TV right now? It's like I think it's Get Shorty.
Sure.
And it's about whatever. They played a whole hour-long episode as one of my ads.
What?
Which I was perfectly fine with because I watched the episode, but it bleeps everything out and everything.
Yeah.
But they have no control over their ads. Their ads there's some ads, I think it's whether you're listening to it or not, and they know whether you're paying attention or not. Because there's sometimes when I'm taking a shower, I'll get a 3-minute ad while I'm in the shower. And
wow.
I was listening to music like a half an hour before and never got, I'd get maybe a 30-second ad. You can always skip it. But I'll be in the shower, always the inconvenient places where I can't grab it and check. But that's a conspiracy theory, not a big deal. But it's still funny. They don't have any control over their ads, and I mean, God forbid kids are watching this. I would be fucking pissed as an adult if I had to deal with my kid at 12 o'clock, watching YouTube, and then he comes in saying something just scared the crap out of me.
So, little known fact, if you have ads and you don't have an ad blocker, you can go into your Google settings and change on your settings what you want on your ads. But apparently a person on Twitter was the one that thankfully helped shine the light on this ad and help everyone notify YouTube about it, because they've got about 80,000 retweets on this one Twitter post.
And that doesn't surprise me, because people like to be scared, but they like to be scared in either October or they like to be scared all the time. And when you're putting stuff out there right now, it's
at random.
At random too, yeah. And no one knows what's going on with the
anarchy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that anarchy, so there was this. I guess I never heard about this story, but apparently there was a story about this cop that was doing this thing with McDonald's Monopoly stickers that you get once a year.
He was selling them, right?
He was selling these fake Monopoly stickers in order to make profit. This happened between 1985 and 2000, so he's been doing it for about 5 years, selling these fake pieces. And apparently someone made a script about it. This little script that someone made up just recently had the biggest bid out of any
screenplay for it. Just the original screenplay. It's, I believe, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are the ones that their production company. I believe they
Pearl Street Films.
Yep, I believe they. If I'm not mistaken, they won the film.
Yes,
the
and 20th Century Fox.
So now they're gonna call it Ocean's McDonald's.
Oh my god.
I think that it has a really cool premise. I think that whoever wrote it really well. I haven't read the script, obviously.
Yes.
But for them to have it was bought up in 72 hours.
Yeah.
Literally 72 hours it was on the market, and it was having bids from Fox. It was having bids from everywhere. It became one of the highest bidded screenplays right now.
Yeah, apparently, Warner Brothers wanted to buy it, and also
it wasn't on the article.
Netflix wanted to. The story was optioned for $350,000 with an additional $1 million in case it gets adapted into the big screen. For context, usually these option fees for articles cost less than $1,000. So that's insane. Guessing, knowing how Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are, this is probably like one of those Boston McDonald's stories they're gonna make it into.
Boston heist of it.
Yeah.
Steve Carell was in talks with it if Warner Brothers had got it. Kevin Hart was going to do it, I think, if Netflix got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Would be the main character. So obviously it's a comedy. You could put those two in serious movies, but the thing that strikes me is Kevin Hart is a comedian all the way. Yes. So that just means that this has got to be something that's really funny. I want to actually segue. We technically write our stuff out earlier, but I want to go into something that just actually came up today. And we were talking about it earlier. Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn will no longer be part of Guardians of the Galaxy as Disney has put it. where do you think? I know that this puts Drax at a point where he's now trying to get fired as fast as he can.
Yeah, Batista said he's not going to be in the film if James Gunn is not going to be the director. Mm-hmm. So most likely Drax is in the script, written already. So they're going to have to replace him.
Yeah.
Highly doubt that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even film anything yet, right?
Mm-mm. Well, I wonder if he has a contract too.
No, he does have a contract.
Yeah,
he
so
said he's going to break the contract.
Okay, yeah.
So he's going to get sued.
Yeah.
So.
But it'll be interesting because I think they're going to have to, they brought on Mantis last year. I think they're going to have to bring on another character to hold it up, because if they're going to go with his script, then they're going to have to make somebody make way for Drax's character. And I think that shoehorning another character is going to really cause some stress on the MCU.
And also, is Guardians 3 after Infinity War?
Yes, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be after it, because they're talking. I think they're doing the Adam Warlock.
Yeah, because in the second one they kind of show, glimpses of Adam Warlock
at the end.
Stuff.
Yeah,
it's like cocoon.
Yeah, how they make him, and I think that's a really good idea for them to go with. But I think Drax has become a very pivotal point in these last couple of movies. You talk about funny, talk about comic relief. I think the funniest line in Avengers was, "Where's Gamora? Who is Gamora?" And then, "I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?" That was by far one of my favorite lines of the entire movie.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of do it, if they go with like an AI or if they go with a robot or something like that.
I don't know what they'll do. They can't do a different actor. I don't think they can, or they would. So if anything, they would have to do a CGI or just somehow come up with the story, kind of like with Hawkeye, where he wasn't in the movie. Explain it though.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll be going through this for a while, so
yeah,
it's just something I wanted to bring up on this one, just because it did happen today. They finally said that, and Batista, God bless you, Batista, for saying.
Thank you for sticking up for that.
His first tweet was "Make America Great Again, Disney," and it was like, oh, kill him.
But to speak on his behalf, Jerry Seinfeld also talked about it. How it's just a joke. That he was just jokes he was making, and also it was 10 years ago. Every year we're a different person.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that's what he believed in. He thought those jokes were true.
Not at all.
Type of deal. It's just they're in the past. I mean, look at Disney. They made those movies with African Americans portrayed as slaves or with big lips and whatnot.
Oh yeah, and it was like the Jim Crow era. You had like literally crows that were like, that was their representation of Disney. So yeah, not to get off track, but I thought I saw that today finally, and I went, oh wow, cool. Well, now we know what the future is going to be looking like in the Guardians. So we'll see how this kind of tapers off.
Yeah, and you said that they might do a robot or an AI. So speaking of AI, another segue. I like doing these segues.
That's why I said it.
Yeah. So there's gonna be a movie where a AI robot will take the lead as the main character. Tony Kaye's new movie is gonna have an AI character. Now, Tony Kaye, he did American History X. That's what he's most famous for. But it's supposed to be a continuation of the movie Second Born, which I honestly have never heard of this movie.
I've never heard.
Yeah.
Either.
So
we should have watched the trailer to see, but either way,
right.
This is going to be the biggest story coming out soon, because you're going to have actors that are going to start saying, hey.
Rights for AI?
Yeah, well, not even rights for AI. They're going to have just people that are like, hey, I was going to get that part. You talk about Scarlett Johansson voicing her.
Yeah.
They brought up that example about how, or the girl that was in Ex Machina, that I forget her name, Sophia or something like that.
Alicia Vikander?
Yes, yeah, she played in Tomb Raider as well, which, you talk about those movies. Well, to be honest, CGI has been around for so long that we are literally CGIing older people into younger bodies.
Well, look at Star Wars, for instance. They've been doing that for the past 2 films.
General Tarkin,
and also Princess Leia.
Yeah, they lowered them up. So it's not so much. I laugh whenever I see celebrities like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Like, we're gonna lose our jobs. Oh, CGI already replaces about half of you guys. You know, a lot of people that could have been doing studio production, you could equally say that CGI has destroyed studio production. But it doesn't. It causes more jobs. It's just moving forward. It's more visual effects.
Exactly.
This is kind of something that you can probably see in the future is not robots, I guess, but maybe AI playing maybe even secondary parts like background people walking.
Exactly.
That way you never have people that are always going to do something random.
You know, in our day-to-day life, we talk about AI taking over jobs. It's definitely can affect Hollywood. It can affect, you know, like at McDonald's, they have the little board now. I mean, it's not AI, but it's still something.
Yeah,
that's changing because everything's progressing. You know, nothing's going to stay the same for years and years and years. There's progress.
And as somebody that wants to go to school for film, I honestly see that. Like, you know, you talk about, you know, you're never going to have anybody right now ever going to talk about, you know, writers, directors. They're never going to be a robot.
No.
But actors, yeah, I would. Yeah. You know, how cool would it be if you had a bunch of robots that were literally just walking down a street that looked like humans? You didn't have to pay extras.
Did you ever play the game Movies?
Mm-mm.
There's this game Movies that came out in, I don't know, probably 2006 or so. It's kind of like a Sims-based game, but you can basically control your characters to make out a movie. It's pretty cool. It came out for the PC. It was slightly popular at the time. It came out around the same time Spore came out. I don't remember Spore. So I think that was 2006, 2007, around there. But that's what I'm thinking how it's going to be. Mm-hmm. You know, you can basically control what exactly you want this actor to do, what they're supposed to say, where they're going to be, and all that.
The only problem is if it's going to be believable or not. You talk about
can you show
AI.
the emotion?
Yeah, and have that voice range too. I think that voices. You're either going to be editing over voices, or you're going to be dubbing them, or you're going to be doing them yourself, or the robot's going to do it. Which they get more AIs to talk better. I think a lot of the AIs that are on like YouTube videos, you can tell as soon as you listen to it. A lot of people can't. But it's just like almost like when you know, are you a computer? Are you a robot? You know, some people fuck up that. Mm-hmm. It's the same way. People just don't pay attention.
Exactly. Well, that's gonna do it for our news segment. This week we didn't really see any movies. There wasn't really anything that looked great for us to review.
It's not so much that they're lower tiers and we don't want to see them. It's $12 to see a movie at this time of night from like 5 when we're actually like able to record this, and I think that a lot of the movies are lower quality right now to where I wouldn't spend $15 or $12 on a ticket.
Exactly, like Black Klansman. I was glad we went to that for sure. But you know, like 22 Mile. Alpha,
you know, and 8th Grader is still out.
8th Grader, okay, yes.
We want to see that.
We still want to see that.
But that's another one that's like, I'm still hesitant because it's Bo. Because it is his first film, but I have faith in him. I don't have $11 of faith. I'm sorry, like it sounds really bad, but it's tough times right now. It's definitely it's hard on movies. Movies are a pleasure.
So let's get into that right now.
We got movie trailers. So for our first movie, we've got The Green Book, and this is going to be starring Mahershala Ali, Viggo Mortensen, and
Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, Hawkeye's wife. This is probably my favorite trailer that we have this week. This came up Tuesday, I believe, Wednesday.
Yeah,
and it's strong. It's satisfying. It looks like a great movie. It's preaching tolerance, which is something that I think all of us need to look at a little bit right now. It looks fun.
So the movie comes out November 21st, 2018. It's PG-13, so even the kids can see this movie. Basically, what it's about a working class Italian American bouncer becomes a driver, Viggo Mortensen, which is awesome. He has Italian accent.
He does a really good New York Italian accent. I tell you that right now. He says fried chicken right well.
I like how he talks in this. I like that he's an Italian. You never see him in Italian. You know? You never see him as Italian. And then he has to drive around Mahershala Ali, his character, he has to drive him around. He apparently is a classical pianist on tour through the venues in the 1960s in the South.
Yeah, and it has a lot of really strong quotes in it. I'm not even going to remember the quotes because I'm terrible at remembering. I believe it was, you have to be humiliated. You have to fight through your humiliation to get respect. And basically it's a scene where they're being pulled over and because he's obviously black and he's taking it he's being quiet, and obviously Viggo Mortensen's making a big deal out of it.
Of course, because he's not used to it.
Exactly. And it's just a sobering, awesome look at the 60s and how it was the age of love, or the whatever it was, the time of love. So that's definitely something that I think is going to be pretty cool to see.
So this next trailer we have is Widows, which is being directed by Steve McQueen.
Yeah, you caught me off. You caught me off guard on this one.
It's not Steve McQueen, the action hero. Steve McQueen, who has done 12 Years Slave. That's Steve McQueen, which I thought by reading his name was the actual
McQueen.
Steve McQueen.
No, this is a different one, but man, he can put together a pretty good action movie. There's a lot of heavy hitters in this movie. You got Michelle Rodriguez, Viola Davis, you got Liam Neeson, you've got the guy that played the Punisher, you've got a girl that played
John Bernthal,
yeah, and then you got Elizabeth Debicki, who played in Guardians of the Galaxy. So there's a lot of good actors in here.
This is pretty big cast, and it's kind of like a off the curtails of Ocean's 11 in a way, where it's a strong female cast,
and they pick up where their husbands left off because their husbands get killed by probably police or something like that.
I'm gonna take a quote from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. The husband is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck.
Yeah.
And these girls definitely look like they're the neck.
Yeah, and obviously they're caught up in something. I'm gonna just say it right now, Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Farrell. I guarantee you he's the bad guy in this. He has to have the other two gentlemen that they're hounding him for the money. I guarantee you he set them up. It's just the way the trailers are anymore. You just see them and you go, oh man, I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it still looks super good. And last but not least, they released a trailer for Arizona, and it's starring Danny McBride, a lot of other people, Caitlin Olsen that played Dee in
Always Sunny,
and it looks
Luke Wilson.
It looks wow, like. It didn't have much in the trailer, so it's not like you can go off a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it did look like a gated community, like somebody sold somebody on a gated community, and they said that it was going to increase in value, and it didn't. And obviously, they take the matter into their own hands.
I'm assuming this came out around 2008 when the market crashed.
Yeah, but it still looks. With Danny McBride, you can't really have something that's not funny. With him, it always ends up being funny. Even by the trailer, it's supposed to be. It seems like a serious at first.
It did,
but then it slowly graduates to madness, and you're just like, oh, okay, alrighty.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how this movie is. I don't have high hopes for it, but Danny McBride, he always makes a good, silly comedy movie.
Yeah, I think that.
And Luke Wilson's in it.
Yeah, and it's lighthearted, so you'll definitely see something that's a little bit more fun, so.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Movie Lowdown. This week's question is, who would you like to see in the next comedy spy duo?
Comment below, let us know.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Garrett Loberg.
And I'm TJ Washuk.
This has been a Two Guys production.